Hey guys, it's Jenna. Welcome back to my channel today. Today is day 8 of the 12 days of Jenna's Faves. I'm so excited to let you guys know what prize is at the end of this video, as well as talk about the worst makeup of 2021. All of these brands have products that I love, and not everything works out for everyone. So I do think it's just as important to talk about the products that miss the mark, just so that we can save our money for the products that do win, that are hits, that we're going to be enjoying a lot more. So let's talk about the first item that unfortunately did not do well with me this year. I had such high hopes for this one. And this is the Tom Ford Christmas Quad, the Soleil Neige Quad for this year. This is in Naked Pink. I talked about this in my holiday ranking video. This looks like it would be this perfect, like super subtle glam, but it actually translates quite light and soft, like almost extremely light to the point where it's barely visible. Plus, it is something that is kind of a stiffer, drier formula than what Tom Ford is known for. They are known for the wet, dry formula in some of their permanent quads that are out of this world gorgeous. And lately, he's been doing a little bit of different formulations. This is one that failed me, unfortunately. Just too dry, a little bit stiffer, and these shades look very, very similar. We do have these two on the top that have very subtle difference between them. I do think he could have given this a little bit more versatility. And when I was doing my holiday palette ranking, this was actually in dead last. So this is my first worst makeup product of the year, but I really do love Tom Ford makeup. There are so many things that worked. That is not one of them. While we're on the Tom Ford streak, let's talk about one more that he released this year that I was like, yikes. Oh my gosh. This in theory, when I show you the swatches, you guys are going to be so excited to see it because it's like spring vibes and beautiful, but these are very heavy swatches for this palette. Certainly not how it translates on the lid. This is Rose Prism from Tom Ford, another Tom Ford quad that failed me. He did release another quad called Metallic Denim at the same time as this one, but I actually found that one to be just all right, so I wouldn't put it in like the worst makeup of the year category, but this is one that, oh, so let me down. I was so sad. This one is quite an interesting shimmer right there. There's a lot of kick up in the pan, and it seems to fall all over the face. It's a little bit more high maintenance than Tom Ford's shimmers typically are, so it is very clear that he's trying to do some different things, but this is one that I just didn't really like. I had such high hopes for this pale purple, but you have to layer this on the eye probably like 4 times for it to show up, and even then, it's like the tiniest kiss of light pale purple. So sad. This one is so sad. This is also one that failed me this year. There are 2 Tom Ford quads coming that are supposed to be much better in formulation, and they're from the Badass collection. I think it's called like Extreme Badass collection. I have ordered both of them, so I will let you guys know my thoughts, but those 2 I would avoid. These are 2 fails from Tom Ford from 2021. Now, when I get to my favorites this year, which is going to be so exciting, there's a couple products from Huda Beauty's Glowish line that really did well with me. Like, I was so excited to check out the bronzer, check out the blush, and check out this product, but this is the first miss in the Glowish line and probably the worst of the year, unfortunately. This is the Glowish by Huda Beauty Luminous Pressed Powder. I really wanted this one to work out. This is one that's quite drying on the skin, unfortunately. It's something that disappointed me. When I looked at my face up close after using this, I was like, my skin is like the Sahara Desert. It sucks. Like, it just felt like my skin was thirsty. It needed something. It was just drying up stuff, and that's really not the look I'm going for, obviously. I do want my skin to appear glowy, appear hydrated, appear plump. This was just working against my glowy products to make my skin look gorgeous. It was just like this competing force I didn't want to have on my skin. So this also has a little bit of a shimmer to it, which kind of got me a little confused. It's enough shimmer for it to be decently noticeable, but not to the point where it's a highlight. It's actually why I don't like the Hourglass Infinity powder. I feel like that shimmer has a little bit more of a presence than I would like in a all-over face powder. This one doesn't have as much as the Hourglass Infinity powder, but it does have enough where I'm like, ah, dang it, you know? And the word luminous to me, I would think like glowy and hydrated looking, you know? It just fell short. So unfortunately, this is also a miss from 2021. When I did my holiday ranking video, oh my gosh, I really love the outside of this palette, as do a lot of you. I was looking at the comments, I was like, yes, we're on the same page. Like, this is something, oh, that was so frustrating. But I asked in the video, why do you think this new Gucci palette has a totally removable, like, palette insert? So you can see here, this is the palette, by the way, which I'm like, God dang it. Like, I know that you can make looks with this. I just think that I was expecting something a little bit more cohesive. When I talk about versatility in the other quads, I'm wanting a little bit more than like just very similar shades, but this is almost like too many leaps when it comes to colors in a palette. This is fully removable. You can see here, and in my holiday ranking video, I was like, why? Like, what is this for? Is this for like a vanity, for once you're done this pan? No. A lot of you guys informed me that Gucci is planning on doing multiple color stories with these like removable trays. So you only have to buy one palette and you can slip the next color story inside of it. It is genius. It's really good for the environment, so I appreciate that. So I'm hanging on to this, hoping that the next color story is one I'm gonna love, so I can keep this gorgeous compact. Oh, because it's so pretty. It's so heavy in the hand. It so feels like luxury. But these shadows fell short for me, honestly. The blendability of some of these mattes is a little bit stiffer than a matte that I would typically prefer, which is more on the creamy side. The shimmers are really nice. There's a little bit of fallout, but honestly, this is one that just missed the mark entirely. The color story is not quite something that I can visualize looks with easily, so this is another reason yet why this palette fell short for me this year, but look at the gorgeous compact. It is stunning. I want to talk about a new brand that I reviewed this year, which is Valentino Beauty. Valentino Beauty had a lot of interesting products in it, and a lot of it, I would say overall, was a little bit disappointing when it came to packaging, because it really seemed kind of lightweight, plasticky, not something I would have preferred to see from a high-end brand. But once I saw the mission behind this brand, which is to make it refillable, recyclable, etc., I sort of had a little bit more leniency towards it, because that does make more sense. There is one truly terrible product in their line, and I figured it was my job to inform you to stay away from this. This is the Valentino mascara. Not only is this like a very lightweight plasticky kind of feel, so if it is for recyclability, that's totally fine, but the product inside, oh, it's like a tacky formula. I remember putting this in my lashes and being like, I feel like my lashes are sticking together super quickly. I don't know if it's just some kind of component within the formula that makes it really easy to stick together, but typically when you apply mascara, of course you're going to get that clumpy factor when you over apply, but this is one that took very little time to do that. It was like 1 or 2 layers and all of a sudden I have Clumpville. Like, it just looked really, really bad. So I don't know what happened there with the formulation, but it's certainly not my favorite. It did have a nice fluffy brush, which I was like, okay, like maybe I can work with this one. This is gonna be great, but unfortunately not. It's not something that worked out for me after multiple trials at getting this to work. I was thinking like, maybe I need to scrape off the excess. Maybe there's too much product. Maybe I need to wait until, you know, it's halfway full, right? Because sometimes mascaras, it's a very weird magic trick, but sometimes when you use them a little bit, they actually get a lot better. So I was thinking like, it's gotta be that reason, right? Every single time, clumpy lashes, harder to remove as well, so definitely not my favorite. So this is yet another miss for the year. If you guys caught yesterday's video, which was hits and misses, that was day 7 of Jena's 12 days of faves. This was in that video, the most crushing Dior blush. Oh, so sad. This one is so beautiful, which is why it hurts that it didn't work out. This is the Rouge Blush from Dior in the shade Atelier of Dreams, which is a limited edition product. It looks like it's going to be this gorgeous glowy blush. Can you guys see just like how it shines on camera there? It's so stunning. Even close up, you can see all the detail work when it comes to the house on the inside. Like, look how beautiful that looks. It's like Parisian historic buildings in the embossment of this blush. But when you actually swatch it, ugh, it is so glitter forward. It is really, really too bad. Like, the pigment underneath with the pink, it's just all glitter with this one, and it's typically not what I want to see in a blush. You guys can see this is like basically like holographic-y. Like, the glitter has some purpley blue elements. It's very subtle, but it's there. And look at that pigment. That's 3 layers, guys. 3 layers and nothing. Like, it looks so, so sheer when it comes to that pigment underneath. I was expecting a lot more of that pink to pull through. Let's talk about the only product that I've ever picked up from Item Beauty by Addison Rae. I've had some mixed kind of feelings from you guys about whether you wanted me to review it. So basically I just grabbed one and thought like, if this first one is good, then maybe I can grab the rest, you know? A first impression with one product doesn't always dictate the entire line, because if you happen to strike out on the first time, then you could potentially dismiss an entire line and not even realize, right? But this was supposed to be one of the best performing products and one of the best sellers from the line. This is the Item Beauty Lip Quip, and this is one that I also talked about yesterday when I was going through the recent hits and misses. This is one that is more on the sheer side, but the formulation is very tacky. It's not something that I would prefer in a lip gloss, to have a very tacky formula sitting on my lips. For some reason, my preference is just more smooth, more easy to work with, like overall, like longevity and stuff like that. Very poor longevity with this, but the strength is that it has really nice shine. That's really the only thing I can think of. It does make your lips look nice because of the shine, and like it kind of makes your lips look hydrated. But the biggest reason why this is a miss for me is literally because of how sticky it is and how poor it lasts on the lips. It also happens to disturb the lipstick underneath when I do apply it with a lipstick beforehand. That is also something I'm like, I cannot have that with a lip gloss. I can't have it mess up the lipstick underneath, because I do want the whole look to be forward when it comes to a lipstick and a gloss duo. I want the gloss to essentially enhance it. Because I was thinking like, you know, what can I do with something that doesn't have as much pigment behind it? I can layer it with a lipstick. But the thing is that it tends to make it all goopy and gucky underneath. Like, it doesn't make my lipstick last as long. I don't know. This is definitely a miss. Let me know if you have tried something else from Item Beauty, if it's worth picking up a different item to test. But so far, I'm just like, not really impressed overall. This is the first product I've tried though, so I'm willing to try any others. Next, we have one of Rare Beauty's launches this past year, which was the Stay Vulnerable Melting Blushes. This was also one that unfortunately was not a hit for me. It's also more of a tacky formulation. I do feel like this was the year of the blush. There were so many blushes that came out this year, and I really like the Rare Beauty soft pinch blushes, that ones that come in like the tubes. But this melting blush kind of came in like a cylindrical kind of tub situation. It looked absolutely gorgeous. But when you actually swatch it, it is smooth for sure, but it's a little bit tacky on the skin. If that's not your preference, I don't think that's going to work out for you, because it surely didn't work out for me. But the tack, ugh, and that's kind of like the theme, right? Like if it's tacky at all, whether it's lips, whether it's cheek, I'm like, no, I don't like that. I don't want that to be the final result. It also did not have a ton of lasting power on my cheeks. I felt like it sort of faded away within about 4 hours, which is not something that I think is a strength with this blush. Like, I'm not gonna have time to reapply it. So this was also a miss, but if you do wanna check out a Rare Beauty blush, the soft pinch blushes are amazing. While we're on the same length of blushes, this is what I mean. I'm looking at my list here. There are so many blushes that we tried this year. These are some from Charlotte Tilbury that did not work out for me. They're the Pillow Talk Lip and Cheek Glows. And I got these in PR, and I do want to thank the brand for sending them to me to test, but unfortunately this was not my preference when it comes to makeup because of, surprise, surprise, the tackiness. Very similar tackiness actually to the Stay Vulnerable blushes. So if you actually like the lip and cheek duos from Charlotte here, you'll probably like the Stay Vulnerable ones, but just keep in mind you might need to reapply them a bit because they will fade faster than a typical blush. These ones though have the same thing. I did get a ton of questions about how they would feel on the lips, and it's the same thing. When I test them on my lips, it is tacky, it is sticky, doesn't seem to settle down. It is a kind of light medium opacity, a little bit buildable, but sort of caps out at about medium to full. In theory, these are beautiful shades, more on the deeper side, I would say, but still gorgeous nonetheless. It's just that the stickiness, the stickiness for this one. Charlotte Tilbury is normally a huge hit of a brand for me. So many things work out. This unfortunately was not a hit, whether it was using it for cheeks or using it for lips. The last blush I'm going to talk about that fell short for me this year was Natasha Denona's cream blushes. The shade that I picked up in this cream blush is Daria. It's actually like a cool toned, very pale pink color, and Very promising at first, but also quite a bit of hurdles with this one. It dried down pretty fast, so I felt like I had to blend really quickly. To me, it's like, okay, what about the beginner or someone that wants to really take their time and is learning how to use this particular product? The user friendliness becomes lower when they dry so fast, because if you mess up or you need a little bit more blending time, it's just not going to happen for you. Pigmentation is really nice though, definitely. It's more of like a runny consistency, but you can use the applicator, which is a classic doe foot, to apply it to the cheek, and it tends to do a decent job at applying it. Plus, I feel like the lasting power just wasn't there either. I saw some significant fading around the 6-hour mark for this one. A little bit better than the Rare Beauty Stay Vulnerable blushes, but still not quite what I'm looking for when it comes to a blush. I don't want to have to reapply midway through the day. It's just not something that I think is preferable for me. Keep in mind, Natasha Denona has a full line of fire products, like just amazing, but this one was just a miss. Let's talk about the colossal... Oh, that's mean. I have to be a little bit careful. It's not like any brand is being dragged at all. That's the thing. It's just that when there's a product that does not do well, it's like, ugh, like it's so painful sometimes. One of the recent launches from Fenty Beauty was her eyeshadow palette, the Bomb Posse palette, as well as this highlighter trio. Both of these pieces I picked up while I was in Greece. I saw them available for the European market before us, and I picked them up and I was like, okay, let's get into this. Let's test it. Let's see if we can deliver some good news to my friends on YouTube that this is worth buying before this launches in North America. Unfortunately, it was a terrible, terrible disaster of a product. A lot of people do like this palette. If that is you, I'm glad that you're enjoying it. We all have different preferences. This is one eyeshadow formula that I tried this year that was very stiff. Very drying. I felt like it just wasn't that easy to blend out. The mattes were not that great. They all swatched very dry as well. And when that happens, it's not like I get all my information from a swatch, but when they start swatching really dry, it kind of makes my eyebrow raise. Like, ugh, I hope it performs a lot better on the lid because it just doesn't seem to have a ton of creaminess behind it. Even though there were supposed to be distinct looks in this palette, a lot of the shades were super similar. I felt like you could probably do this whole palette in about 5 shades instead of how many shades there were. So this was one that I tested in Greece. I was like, maybe I can help you guys out and be like, yes, this is a bomb product. Unfortunately not. It's the Bomb Posse palette, but it wasn't the bomb to me, unfortunately. Same goes with the highlights. This was very promising, but this was also one that was so heavy of a glitter. The glitter on top of these highlights was so significant that I felt like you could actually see the particles on the face. And that just doesn't really match with my preferences when I'm looking for a highlight. A highlight to me should seep into the skin. It should have a glowy component, like a glow from within, but nothing that is tangibly like particles of glitter. That's just not my preference. If that's your preference, then this palette might actually be a really big hit for you. Too much prominent glitter particles made this look a little bit on the tacky side and not my style preference of makeup. So this was also a really big miss from Fenty Beauty this year. The last worst product of the year goes to NARS. Oh, this pains me. This is another holiday palette. Now they've released 3 of these, but 2 of them were like mediocre, and this was the worst one out of the 3. So I figured I would include this one as the worst. Oh, because it's so sad. I don't like the packaging style of these minis because it's so sharp along the corner. Like there's no plastic trim around it, so I feel like you could really cut yourself. Like this is like a safety hazard here, like a cardboard paper cut waiting to happen. So that is really freaky. It makes me very careful when opening it. But you can see this color story is actually really stunning. I actually think this would be perfect for like the everyday gal that just wants some really beautiful browns, mattes, gorgeous gold tones in here that just give you that really nice look for every day. But the mattes here are so drying. It's not the typical NARS creamy matte that I'm used to. It just seems to be stiffer, harder to blend, looks patchy. Because this palette is so small, it's really ideal for travel, but the packaging size, not cool with the lid, it's so sharp. And the mattes are not that great. Even the shimmers have a little bit of a stiffness behind them that I'm also not used to from NARS. Unfortunately, this is the worst palette from NARS this year and another worst product of 2021. All right, guys, let's transition into Santa Jena. She is back. My little elf is in the workshop. He is sleeping on the job, but I'm not going to disturb him today. But he has whipped up something amazing that I'm going to take credit for because I'm Santa and I just get to deliver the great news. I don't have to make it. This is a Sephora Favorites themed giveaway prize today. I do have 3 items in total from this giveaway prize. So the first one here is actually this Sephora Favorites kit. This is the Swipe of Lip Color kit. You guys saw me haul this in a haul, and I sneakily did not tell you that this was for a winner, not for me. So I'm super happy. It does come with a full size of the Summer Fridays Lip Butter Balm, which I love. There's also a full size of the Huda Beauty liner here, which is awesome. But there's also some amazing products, including the viral Clinique Black Honey lipstick. This was sold out everywhere. It is literally like one of the most desired lipsticks right now. Even I can't get my hands on it. I'm like, what the heck? So whoever wins this, you're gonna have to tell me if it's actually worth the hype. But I do love the YSL lipstick in here, the NARS lipstick in here, so stunning. This is a fantastic gift to try out so many Sephora best-selling lipsticks. The next kit from Sephora Favorites is the Sparkly Clean. Oh, this is so cute. This actually includes a not yet released product from Tower 28, which is right here. So this is one that you're gonna get first for the first time before anyone gets it, which is so exciting. Then it comes with a Ilia mascara, we have a Merit blush, a Say highlight, a Milk Makeup color chalk, and we also have the liquid silk canvas from Tatcha. Really awesome. The full-size product is the Tower 28, as well as the Milk color chalk. So you do have 2 full-size products in this kit as well. And the last one is so exciting too, which is for my candle lovers out there. This is the Forever Mood by Jackie Aina Variety Pack. I think it's called something else. It's called Scented Votive Candles, but I call it the Variety Pack because there's 4 cuties in here. This is such a cute set, honestly. If you love fragrances, Forever Mood does a great job with the throw of these candles. They're very complex, but yet complementary. They fill your entire room. I'm very impressed with Jackie's brand, actually. So this is a lovely one. It comes with 4 candles. One is called Caked Up, which is more of like a sweeter themed one. We have Left on Red, which is a fruity one. Cuffing Season, which is like a Douglas fir meets like lemon kind of citrusy one. And then we have Matcha Business, which is so cute. It's kind of like herbally with some elements of coffee and lavender. Like, how fun. This is so fun. I'm actually gonna buy one for myself. I have FOMO again. Rules are the same as the other ones. Subscribe to my channel. Leave a comment in the description box with your Instagram handle or an email address. All the giveaways are international. There are 7 other videos for you to check out if you haven't entered those giveaways yet. Until my next one, take care and stay safe. Bye, guys.